Welcome back to Sandy Prince Sultan Air Base. It's time for another Phoenix and the Chief episode. I'm your host, Sergeant Stanford. General Walker and Chief Chaddock, aka your Phoenix and Chief, will be discussing some important business today, as well as visiting our hardworking airmen at HVAC. Let's get the ball rolling, everyone. Over to you, Phoenix.
Hey guys, first of all, we got some new stop movement clarification and some exemptions. So deployments are now exempt from the stop movement order. This means that our replacements are going to continue. This means that our inbound deploying units are going to continue, but it does not mean necessarily that it's going to happen today or tomorrow. So we still have to go through a quarantine regimen for inbound units and personnel, and we still got to get through the TRANSCOM movement of those personnel and units into PSAB. So it's going to take some time, but we do have more clarity on this than we did a week ago, and we're thankful for that.
Absolutely. Hey, and speaking of deployed units coming into Prince Sultan Air Base, welcome to the 44th Expeditionary Fighter Squadron. These deployed F-15 Charlie fighter pilots are here, and they are replacing the world-famous Triple Nickel, and they've got their own heritage. First activated boss, 1 January 1941.
Yeah, Chief, I've had the opportunity to fly with these guys from the 44th, the men and women from the Vampire Bats, from the 2 times that I was stationed in Korea. And I've done many training exercises where we fought on the same team and where we jousted against each other. And they're really a class act, and we're really thankful to have them come in and join in our PSAB team.
Yeah, and absolutely. And to show our high degree of thanks, we're going to put you into quarantine for the next 2 weeks. We hope that you understand. Nothing personal, just business.
Yeah, and the quarantine rules, this is really important, and I can't underscore this enough. So especially as we get into reception of inbound units and personnel, since the beginning of the COVID outbreak, we have benefited from a stable population. We haven't had people rotating in and out. With our lockdown measures, we've been able to really be super cautious. Now we got a variable population because we got our inbound replacements and we got inbound deploying units. We need to take the quarantine very seriously, because the quarantine is the mechanism by which we can make sure that if somebody does show up with the virus, that the virus has time to go through its gestation and play itself out in the quarantine spaces and not infect the rest of the base.
Absolutely. We just don't need the heat of cross-contamination and everything that comes with possibly spreading a disease that is pretty impressive in taking people down and putting them on their knees for a little bit of time.
Yeah, so the bottom line here is, if you're not in quarantine, don't go into quarantine. If you're in quarantine, stay in quarantine, and let's not cross the streams there. That's the way to really adhere to the protocols in place and make sure the best safety for everybody here on the camp.
Absolutely. Hey, and speaking of taking care of the safety of the camp, there's some guys and gals that are out there busting their hump day in and day out. And those are our HVAC guys and gals hanging out over at Civil Engineer Squadron. And the heat's been coming, and these cats are running around making sure that we're all staying cool. What do you say we take a hop over and talk to these folks?
That sounds great. Let's go, Chief. So we're out here with the HVAC guys. Who we got? Let's go. Goodness gracious, we got a platoon here. How many people we got? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. All right. Let's go with a random sampling. You are
Master Sergeant Travis Reno
from
Eielson Air Force Base.
And this is your team.
Yes, sir.
And we are going to learn what?
So first off, we're going to have Sergeant Larice going to take you out, show you really the bread and butter of HVAC is preventive maintenance. It's not glorious, but it makes sure all the units stay running at optimum performance. It definitely slows down wear and tear on the units and helps keep the folks cool.
Let's go out on site and we'll go through some PM checks.
Sure.
Okay, so to paint the picture, we're outside of a tent right next to one of the ECUs, Environmental Control Unit. We're right next to an ECU and it's running, and we are going to do some preventative maintenance on it.
So whenever we start with the unit, we come up back in the living tents or facility, make sure the unit's running, make sure nothing's loose or falling apart. And just do it as simple as just turn it off. I got it. I got my Airmen on the ready to start up the power wash.
Oh yeah, look at that. It's a little dusty in there. So we just lifted up the lid on the ECU, and we're looking inside, and it is, I don't want to say it's caked with dust, but there is significant amounts of dust. And so what are we looking specifically for here?
On the coils itself, it'll be dirty. All the sand will get sucked in by the fan, from the outdoor fan, and it'll suck through. So the dust is going to collect on that coil. So the best thing for it to do to clean it off is just with pressurized water.
And the coil is the heat exchanger.
Yes.
That actually is the heart of the ECU. Is that right?
So the heart is actually the compressor, but the coils,
the lungs,
are the lungs.
Yep. Okay.
So there's an outdoor coil and an indoor coil. The indoor coil is what absorbs the heat, and then any heat that absorbs from the conditioned space gets dissipated on the outdoor coils.
Got it.
Now on this side, it's just the filter.
Okay.
It's washable, so what I'll do is take off the ductwork, place it outside.
And then you spray that sucker out. Yeah.
Now they
okay.
can start up the unit, so I'm going to back up a little bit.
All right.
One of the biggest issues we have is people allow stuff, trash, clothes, whatever gets sucked in there, we'll find it on the inside of our unit.
True or false? True or false, Reno? Y'all found shoes,
We found
water bottles, T-shirts.
You name it, we found it in there.
No kidding.
Yes, sir.
So this is the sucking portion of your AC unit that's inside your tent. Keep that area inside your tent free from debris and obstructions, trash, and all that stuff, because the potential exists that you're going to end up with all that garbage inside the ECU. So right now the boss has the sprayer, and he's hosing out this coil of the ECU, and there is a monumental amount of dirt and just garbage just flowing out the side of this machine.
As we get into higher temperatures, as the dirt accumulates on the coil, you either heat transfer, so it's not running as efficient. Pretty soon, we'll start having problems with high pressures, and your unit will start tripping off on safeties.
Because it can't breathe right.
It can't breathe correctly. Another thing, as we creep into 100 plus degrees, these tents, there's really no insulation factor to any of these tents. So we climb above 100 degrees, you're going to start noticing your tents are going to start staying warmer and warmer. You can expect temperatures around 80 to 85 degrees when we're about 100 to 110 degrees outside.
So there's our preventative maintenance done. So that took us about, in total, 5 minutes.
5 minutes for each unit, and then as you see over here with the living tents, 12,
Okay.
right?
So you can,
12
you
tents?
Can do a row of 12 tents in about
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Yeah, we'll go
You guys
through.
are hopping and popping. So now we're gonna head inside and do some repairs inside. All right, cool. What's the next stop?
Sergeant Dyer's going to run you through, get you set up to do the sorry. All right.
You would want open it up so you get your road pressure, settling the rev hose, oxygen, pipe. You already know what you're doing.
Down the floor, sir.
Maybe once.
All right, somebody has given the general a propane torch and a pair of goggles, and we've got this thing fired up. So we have a fighter pilot with fire in his hands.
Sir, I don't think this is very safe. Oh. Just don't set me on fire, sir.
Who did the operational risk management on giving the general a hot piece of equipment?
Does anyone have questions yet that they can answer while they're working?
So with the fighter squadron showing up, how is that going to impact replacement forces for these guys potentially get out of here at the end of May and June as far as quarantine goes?
Okay, so right now we're trying to do a proof of concept with the inbound potential aircraft. That's going to allow us to determine how long and how well we can do our quarantine measures. Still all risk mitigation, right? So 14 days is 14 days is 14 days. But it allows us to exercise our muscles on how we water care and feed for those individuals, as well as how we can receive those follow-on forces.
Yes, sir.
That allows you, if you have a replacement coming in, to tell your replacement, hey, this is what you should expect, this is what it's going to be like. Let's be real. It's going to be you in a tent for 14 days. It's going to be a prison gym. If we have a gym, it's going to be tough. But after 14 days, you're going to be golden. You're going to come out. We're going to let you see some sunshine. We got plenty of it to go around, and we're going to start pushing people out. Now, transportation is still up to Transcom and making sure that we have a horse or an airplane to get people rotated in and rotated out. So more to follow on that. That's going to be an evolving little piece. But since the Secretary of Defense has done his part in changing up the rules, we have a better opportunity to rotate in forces and rotate out forces.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for spending some time with us, guys. Unsung heroes of conditioned air back here in the HVAC shop. And these guys are humping to keep us cool all summer long. It's going to be a long, hot summer, so thanks for what you guys are doing for us.
Thanks for the information. Man in the Sand questions are always welcome. Stay tuned for the next episode, May 6th. Until next time, stay sandy and stay healthy.
Cool.